Welcome to the Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast. I am your host, Michelle Julian, your goddess guide. Today is a very special day for so many reasons. As we all know, it's December 21st, and this is going to be the longest, darkest day of 2022. And not only that, but it is my guest's birthday, Jessa Grace.
40.
Jessa Grace, she just turned 40, and she is here to share her superpowers and her wisdom of so many years of being an entrepreneur, so many different journeys. She has a huge book in her, and we laugh all about how, you got to add that to your book.
Yeah.
Got to add that to your book. Oh, I guess you're definitely not finished with your book yet. So years and years of a journey as a single woman, as an entrepreneur, then becoming a married woman with children, then the next journey, realizing, okay, that relationship's not working out. I'm going to try to do something different. And every step of the way, as we all say, everything is figure-outable. So now we are here, 2022, right before 2023. And I'm kind of so excited about this because I know when I launched my podcast 2 years ago, we actually had the first interview, which was you. And so what I'm super excited to do is to interview you here now, 2 years later, with so much more wisdom and years of experience of what works for you now as a mother of 3 children. Yep, she's got a newborn.
He's eating.
You can see she's growing them. If anyone can do this, is Jessa. He's like, she was born to have a big family, basically, and to be an entrepreneur at the same time, simultaneously. So now what she's going to share is how 2023 is going to be more about not just ease and grace, but very, very specific, strategic moves to grow her community and share how you don't need to feel like you've got to do all the things, right? Because as entrepreneurs online, when you first come on, this is what happens. You think, oh my God, where do I start? And that's Jessa's superpower. She's like, this is simple. The internet is not complicated. The reason why it was designed is to have it be simple, not complicated. And you just need to know what it is that you want to do. It's like that simple. Like break it down one step at a time and take your time with it and contemplate it. She always talks about when we work together is like, I'm like, okay, so you're going to give me a list of questions. And she's like, they're not questions, they're contemplations.
Exactly.
Which I love, by the way, because I'm a meditator. And I'm like, oh, cool. I get to contemplate on what I'm thinking about so I can be with it to become what I want to share, right? So that's what the being and the becoming a goddess, message is all about. It's not, showing up and feeling like I've got everything together. So we are going to watch Jessa breastfeed her child as we're interviewing her. And that's just real life. So, and I'm sure everyone's going to love this because there's so many mindful mamas out there that feel like, oh my God, I couldn't do that. And it's like, yes, you can. You can do anything you want. You are your own boss. So you get to decide. So let's talk about what you want to share and discuss today moving into 2023.
Okay. So I have a process, and I call it the manifestation moves. Sometimes it's just like, something bold that you can do to get yourself jump started and really move forward. And as you know, I assimilate before I do anything. I look around, I see what's out there, what's working, what's not. I do some definitely deep listening and learning. And then I decide, okay, this is the direction I'm going. I'm going to start doing reels. I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to maybe finish that book. I don't know. Still on the fence about that one. But there are certain steps that I have found work for me. And I've learned a lot of these things from other coaches that I've worked with, some of them clients, some of them people that I've paid. And I've assimilated these 6 things that I know that if I do these things regularly, preferably daily, especially when I'm in a position like I'm in right now. Right now, I am in a rebuilding phase. I'm in a relaunching, remolding, re-experiencing phase in my business. Anybody who has been following me, it's been about 2 years since I've really been out there and in front of everybody. Yes, I still get my clients and everything, but in the more public way that I really appreciate doing, being able to serve on a collective level, I really want to get back into that. But I need to find my new center on it, because the last 2 years, if anybody knows the story, have not been easy. I've had to do a lot of reevaluating who am I and what perceptions are working for me and what aren't. Where do I sit with my energy? And yeah, I need to start to find my voice again after all of that. It was quite traumatic, actually. And so now that I'm coming out of it and I have my resources and my cup is full again, I want to come back out again. But I never would think, oh, if it worked 2 years ago, I'll just do that again. I'll just start there and do that again. Yes, so you guys will all see components of that. You'd be like, oh, yay, she's doing that again. But I'm not going to be doing it in the same way, whether it's logistically the same way or using the same tools or technology, but also with a different energy, because I know what energies work for me now did not work for me then, and vice versa. There are certain things that I just don't want to do that I did successfully and happily 2 years ago, that I'm like, no, I don't know. I got a newborn. I can't do that today. So these 6 things are things that they can take as little as a minute a day, 6 minutes in a day. And you can get yourself rewired, refocused, recentered, and really knowing your truth. And when it comes to your truth, it's not necessarily the circumstances that you can't do anything about. Your truth is what you choose for it to be. And I'll talk to you that's part of the very last step. But the first thing that I will be doing, that I do, so I personally am going to be putting myself starting January 1st through a rigorous 30 days of this. I'm going to be doing these 6 things twice a day, every day for 30 days. And by the end of it, just watch. It's going to be, I'm out. I'm like already like, I need to get the fire extinguisher. Everything's going to be moving so fast. So the first thing that I do is I listen. I listen deeply and contemplatively with questions in my mind, or not, with an empty mind and just seeing what comes. But I sit and I listen to myself. I listen to God, source, whatever you guys, believe in, but listen deeply to what comes in. And this is a place where in the morning, I just listen. I do it, like my brain dumping. I'll just say what came in last night, let's just work it out. Let's journal it, whatever we need to do, just deeply listen. And it doesn't have to be about anything specific. So I don't sit there and I don't say, I'm going to listen for something to do about my business or something to do about my kids. I just listen, see what comes up, and really just not do anything with it. Don't expect anything. Don't be like, aha, I got one. None of that. No attachment, just deeply listening and connect with what your body is telling you, what your breath is telling you, what your consciousness and your subconscious is telling you, what happened in your dreams that you're like, what does that mean? What? You really just listen and do it with a sense of playfulness, because we're not sitting there with expectation. There's no wrong way to do it. And then the other time that I do it is at evening, right before bed. And this is where I sit and I ask myself really tough questions. The number one question lately has been, what can and should I be doing differently in order to make a change? And that's really hard to ask yourself, because my mind, especially in the beginning of it, it always goes to, well, this person just needs to stop doing that. This person just needs to leave me alone. I need my lawyer to say this instead of that in court next month. I need. And so the answer first for me is usually, I can and should stop going into these loops where it's everybody else's job to solve my problems for me. And then I go from there. Okay, you know what? I can and should go for my walk every day, regardless, no excuses, no nothing, unless it's sleeting outside. Go for your walk. You know it's good for your mind. You know it's good for your body, those kinds of things. And there are even deeper things. I've had clients who come to me like, you know what? I can and I should not have wine every single night of the week. I should have wine only on the weekends or something like that. I can and I should stop smoking. I can and I should control my anger better. I can and I should have more heartfelt conversations with my children, things like this. These are the kinds of listening that you want to have for yourself. And this is a really big one, because all the other steps are going to be springing from this. This is the slingshot, and it's not always fun. That slingshot effect that we've all experienced in our lives. We've all hit rock bottom at some point, I'm assuming. This is where it starts. Before you get to rock bottom, notice, you know what? If I don't do these cans and shoulds, I will be hitting rock bottom. So the beginning of the day, just listen with playfulness. And at the end of the day, unpack your cans and shoulds so that you don't keep going in the wrong direction. And it's really powerful, really powerful. It can be uncomfortable, but it's super powerful. And so after that, then what we want to do is take it another step further. We've listened and we've talked and we've spoken with ourselves, and we've had those deep conversations with ourselves and our higher power, God. And then what we want to do is now take it out a little bit further, not all the way out. We're not going to go screaming down the street about what we learned. We're going to declare to our trusted circle, the people that, if you have accountability buddies, if you have a coach, if you have a priest, pastor, a circle of friends, a pet. Kashmir knows everything about me. So we want to just declare it comfortably, safely to the people we know are going to hold us accountable. The people who are going to be like, I'm saying this with love, Jessa, but you said you were going to do that, and I don't see you doing it. You didn't do that live, or you didn't write that blog, or you didn't go have that uncomfortable conversation with your lawyer, whatever it might be. And him too. Listen to him. He's like, you said I was going to nap right now. But you want to have these conversations with people that love you and that agree with your directions in life. People who trust your decision making. You do not want to be having, well, it's my mom, of course I'll tell her everything. Yes, but contemplate. Does your mom agree with what you're doing? Is your mom 100% on board with your decision to be an entrepreneur or start this new business or go in a different direction? Yes, your mom loves you. She'll never not, hopefully, but you want to make sure that the people that you are sharing this, you're declaring this to people who love the idea. They're just lit up by holding you accountable, because now they're becoming part of the story. And they want to be the superheroes in the story and not the protagonist or the villain. So we want to make sure we're declaring it. And often, I mean, with you, Michelle, I'm telling you almost every day, this is what I got on mine. This is what I'm going to do. Oh my gosh, I did that 3 years ago. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it differently. And you're like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? And I know that you appreciate my work. I know that you appreciate my methods, and you are itching for me to get back out there again. And so you're the perfect person. And then I have my other friends, Tiana, and I have my children who they're like, Mom, yay, go. They binge my YouTube channel just because, like, we miss you. So we're watching YouTube while you're away. So that's really powerful. Make it work for you, not against you. This is not where we want to declare it to the world just yet, whether they like it or not. That's not. So once you've done it, really get the feedback, take the ideas, also keep in mind, not everybody's advice is a marching order. This is one that I really had to work on, because I'm just such a people pleaser, or used to be anyways, that I would take someone's advice and be like, well, if I don't do that, even though I don't think it's going to work, I might be hurting their feelings. Again, we want to make sure that we are not having codependent relationships with these specific people. Very important. Does that make sense? I kind of rambled on that one.
No, that totally makes sense.
Okay. And so then here we are at the halfway point, and this is the scary one for most people. We now want to go out there and just share it on the, put ourselves on the auction block. You're like, okay, I shared it with my safe people. I got my feedback, and sorry, he's not latching. We want to go out there and be judged. That's it. This is my plan. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm pricing it at. This is where you can sign up. This is my message. This is my vision. This is my mission. And just put it out there without attachment. And this one can be tricky, especially in the beginning. If you haven't done this sort of thing before, you haven't like declared it, in a Facebook Live or go on TikTok or stand in front of your congregation, whatever it might be. But it's scary. It can be very scary the first time out of the gate, but after that, it gets thrilling. I promise you guys, it is so thrilling every time after that because you've got it out of your system. And so this is where we want to not have the attachment so that we don't get on the roller coaster ride, because some people are going to love you and some people are not. I remember when I first popped on the scene, I had some haters because the people who hated me were the ones who relied on the system staying the way that it was. And the people who loved me were the ones who are like, yeah, the system is corrupt and I'm sick of being caught up in it. I need something better. So you're going to have both sides, and the extremes are good. You want the hell yeses and the hell nos. All the people who just kind of sit there in the middle and watch just for entertainment value, or they're keyboard warriors, whatever, just ignore them. It doesn't matter. But you cannot get attached. If somebody says, I love you, oh my God, don't get too excited. And if somebody says, what are you doing? You're ruining it for everyone. Don't get too excited. Just stay even. We want to stay even because you're not attached to it. You are doing this for your soul's blueprint, whatever that might be. This is your calling. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Do you think your soul was like, I want to make sure that Michelle does only things everybody's going to love? No, soul has a different purpose for you. And so that's really important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Aww, oh baby, he's so tired. Okay, moving to the next one. Okay, this is the fun part here. So what we want to do next, once we've done it and we've let it sit for, I would say 2 hours at a time. So let's say I do a Facebook Live and I just wait. I watch and see comments and that sort of thing. And then what I do is I decide my alignment with the responses, and I connect compassionately with the people that I'm aligned with. The people who stood up and said, oh my gosh, I love it, or asked insightful questions, or did something with it that helped me feel like this is moving it forward. I'm not doing it all on my own. These voices are doing it with me, for me, and because of me. I have instigated something here, something good. And so that's where you compassionately connect with them. You listen to them, you reach out, you thank them. Gratitude, always, always, always lead with gratitude, and just be like, thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means for me, for you to interact with me like this. Do you have any questions? Would you add anything to that? What are your thoughts and ideas? We're not pitching to them. We're not selling them anything. We are compassionately connecting. And this can take as little as 1 minute a day. Pick one person and send them a message and say, I really appreciated your interaction on that. That really helped me move my movement forward just that much more. I'd love if you have any other ideas or thoughts, feel free to reach out. And that's it. No pitching, no, hey, here's my website or here's a free gift, nothing like that. Just compassionately connect. And as those of us who are coaches or we're in the service industries of some sort, we're often here to solve people's problems with them, not for them, with them. And so compassion is going to make them feel like you're a safe space. And so now that you've created in steps 1, 2, and 3, you've created that safe space for yourself and you've shown it, you've done it publicly. Now they see that you're a safe space for me too. Can I join you? And again, here they are. They want to be a character in the story. So you've got your lead characters now who are your inner circle, who you've done step 2 with. And now you're getting more characters in the story. And the more characters there are in the story, the more alignments there are going to be. Because there are going to be people who are aligned with those characters who don't even know about you that are going to introduce them to you. And it's really, really powerful and important. And this is really good for you as well as an exercise to give back. Give as much as you receive and give more and receive more. And so we're just giving some gratitude and really practicing what we do, because they're going to have comments, questions, ideas, things they would add, or just share an experience of their own. And that grows you and yours as well. So that's really powerful. And then the fifth one that we want to do, this one can be a little icky. We want to come back down, come back inside of you. We've gone from deeply inside of you to all the way outside. It's time to come back in and really close the cycle of these moves. And he needs to eat again. So this fifth one is where we're just going to do a checks and balances. We're going to calm ourselves down. We're going to look at the facts. We maybe had a little bit of an emotional roller coaster ride over the last, previous 4 steps. And so we want to take that checks and balances. What worked, what didn't work, and really on both sides of the scale, literally, like what's in my bank account, what came of that, where am I at? Can I plan 6 months out ahead for myself just yet? Nope, okay, got to do something new. And then energetically, checks and balances. And those of us who are in service industries, we tend to give way more than we receive, way more. And it's not working for us. We're going to burn out. We're going to start feeling resentful, and we're not going to feel in alignment for long enough to see change. And this is where we see a lot of people pivoting all the time. Oh my gosh, yesterday she was a relationship coach, and now today she wants to read my Akashic records. What is going on? I don't know where this person's at right now. And it's usually because we're not taking the time to check in and be absolutely brutally honest with ourselves. Did it work? No? Okay, I'm going to stop doing that. Let's make some tweaks instead of sitting with it until we can't anymore, and then we just quit. We don't want that. Small pivots will make you move much faster than huge leaps. Really important to take that time, the checks and balances. Did it work? Did it not? How could it have been better? I'm glad it wasn't worse, but if it could, what are some, defensive mechanisms that I can have as if we're in sports? There's the defense is super important as well. So we want to take that look inwards and be like, okay, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's get off the emotional wave right now and really think strategically and matter of factly. And once we've done that, again, I do that in the morning with my, I always check my bank accounts. I check my inboxes. I check everything. I make sure my bills are all paid. There's nothing coming up, that kind of thing. And in the evening, I check my energy. Did I give way more than I received today? And in what areas? That way I can just plan out tomorrow to be like, I'm not going to do that. And more often than not, there's something in my calendar for the next day that I'm feeling inclined to cancel or reschedule. Like, you know what? I can't do 7 sessions tomorrow. I'll do 3. I'll just reschedule. And I've never had somebody get upset at me for having to reschedule something. They're always very understanding. And a lot of times they're like, I was kind of overextended too. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week. So it's really important to make the moves, not just knowing. The awareness is important, but make changes right there in the moment. Don't say, okay, in the morning, I'll make some changes. No, sit down, get your phone out, whatever you need to do, and make the changes right there in the moment, because they're going to feel less huge the faster you do them. And so that's super important. And then the final one, and this is my favorite one. I've been doing this for years for myself before I even made this entire process. And this one is just the awareness piece on a different level. And this is the biggest manifestation hack I have. And everybody who's tried it with me for 30 days straight, by the end of it, they're like, I'm a different person. What happens? And so it's super simple. Again, takes maybe a minute. You might want to spend up to like 5 or 6 if you're really digging into this. But what I do is I have a very visceral level of awareness. I actually have a spreadsheet. You can have a journal, whatever. I like spreadsheets. Everybody knows I'm the spreadsheet queen. And every day I input what are my truths for this day? What are my truths? And again, like I was saying at the top of this conversation, your truths are what you choose to be true about you. The things that are not serving you and the things that are serving you. So I will generally say, you know what? This is true. This works for me. If I do a live and it's this long and it's about this topic, I get a lot of engagement. That really worked. I also know that I can count on this person and this person and this person to almost always show up. and really engage with me. I also know that I can count on my baby to want to breastfeed during an interview, and I am going to be okay with that. That's my truth. And so I'm writing out these lists of things that do and do not work for me and how I'm handling them. Like, it does work for me because look at this case. It's freaking adorable. Who's not going to love that, right? This is not working against me. But then there are things that would work against me. Like, I can definitely count on my ex throwing a wrench in my day if he can find a way. So I just know it. I know I can't count on him for support or an encouragement or anything like that. So I'm just going to stay away from that, but I'm going to write it down. And there are other things like, you know what, I know that during the wintertime, it's really hard for me to go for my walks and I got to work on that. I write these things down. And what this does is this gives me almost like a supercharge whenever I come up against something, because it's going to happen, especially when we're doing that step where we're putting ourselves out there on the auction block. You're going to get triggered. You're going to come up against stumbling blocks. Situations are going to change. Loss is going to happen. Unpredictability is a part of life and why we love it, but also why we're like, please. So when we get to that spot, we now have our tool. It's like a journal of what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Okay, I'm looking at this list. Okay, this works, this works, this works. Oh, I should call this person because they work for me. They're a good energy for me. I'm not going to call this person. I'm in a raw, gentle space right now. I'm in a lot of healing. I'm not going to even go over there right now. It's a reminder for you to stay on your true north. And just reading it, and then your body will react to the things that you're reading because you're remembering and you're like, yes, oh my gosh, these things, they're such little things, but they add up. And when you use them all collectively instead of individual tools or techniques, it's exponential and it moves everything forward so fast. So when you're doing all 6 of these things, and I like to do them twice a day, I really find that I'm able to really be dependable, reliable, consistent, available, and actually profitable in a way that has me in complete alignment so that I can be manifesting what I need to be. And when you know you're in that alignment, when there's synchronicity after synchronicity every single day. No matter what you're doing, whatever you're talking about, whoever you're talking with, there's a synchronicity here. There's another one over there. And oh my gosh, did you see that happen? You can't make this stuff up. Oh my gosh. And you really have fun with it because you're regulating yourself. You're listening to yourself. You're taking care of yourself and you're listening to everyone else without attachment at the same time. And that is
Wow.
that is flow. That's my process. And I have taken you through this process in an extended way without explaining it like this twice now. And in both of your videos.
Yes. Oh God, yes, definitely. And, before the pandemic happened, I had my process that you helped me with just with my massage business and my clients. And then when the pandemic happened, we then looked at, okay, now how do you want to serve your clients now that you're going to be more predominantly online? And working through that step-by-step process allowed me to kind of create what I wanted for myself to help my clients, not what I thought my online clients would want, right? It's that complete opposite thought process. I find it interesting when I see entrepreneurs asking, oh, do you like this color of this particular, font? And this is my new branding. What do you think? And I always think to myself, like, what do you think? Like, what's filling you up? What's inspiring you with that particular font? Right? Like, that's the whole looking within and not looking for other people to validate your message, right? Because there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh, that's really cool. And there's going to be people who are like, no, that looks weird. I would never use purple. You know what I mean? And this is the font you should really use. And the person that you should work with because they're going to do what everybody else is doing. And so you actually are kind of, putting yourself out there to be criticized. And like, why would I want to even do that?
We're not here to be criticized.
I already criticize myself.
No, and
Right.
especially that one step there where we're putting ourselves on that block. We're just putting it, okay, everybody, we're not asking what they think. We're not, we're just doing it. We're just doing
Right.
it. Exactly.
Right.
Non-attachment. I'm here. I'm fulfilling my purpose on this earth. This is what it is. Let me know what you think.
Mhm.
If you need help.
Mhm.
But if you do it that way, you're gonna get fewer haters because you're not asking them to raise their hand, first of all. You're not asking for
Right.
criticism. You're asking for witnessing. That's it.
Right. Exactly. So as an entrepreneur and as a mother of 3 children, what would you like to share in reference to people that are new in launching online?
Oh my gosh, just do it. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple. I have had clients who make $30,000, $40,000 a month and they don't even have a website. You can do this. You can do this. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Figure out the things that you do want. If you're like, I want a website, I need a website. Okay, do it. But don't think that you can't get started without a website. If you have a good message and your mission and your vision is very, very clear, and who you are here to serve is even clearer than that, you've got it. You've got it. You can do it. If it's really deeply burning inside of you and God is like, hello, another day and you didn't do it, another day and you didn't do it, do it. There's no wrong way to fail. And there's the only way to win is to learn. And the only way to learn is to fail. So go learn those lessons as fast as you can. And if you're doing the deep listening and the deep learning, however you want to do it, you can use my system, you can make your own. But if you're listening and you're sitting in awareness and non-judgment, non-attachment, go learn those things as fast as you can. And if you've got the money, pay someone who already learned it to get it done for you.
Exactly. So what would you like your legacy to become now that you've come full circle in this new paradigm for 2023?
Legacy. I want to be known as the one who not only was able to figure it out, but to be able to re-establish myself and other people in a new light. Because we all change, we all go through things. The things that have happened to me in the last 2 years, I am not the same person. I have a little more edge to myself now. But I want to be known as the person who was able to reestablish by figuring it out and sharing it. Because I'm not the only one. We all went through a lot. The last 2-3 years have been intense. And it's all figure outable. That's one of our favorite quotes. And I love being the one who can see it, map it all out, put it all together again, and make it easy.
Exactly. So tell me how people can get in touch with you.
So Facebook is usually where you're going to find me. I'm not big on Instagram or TikTok or any of those things. It's just not my jam. I know that they're great, places for people like myself, but I don't like the flashy, oh my God, look how pretty I am kind of marketing. Not for me. Not for me. So Facebook is where I'm at for now. I might branch out. We'll see. So just Jessa Grace on Facebook or Heartfelt Business. There is the group. There's about 2,200 of us in there so far. And I will be doing more trainings like this and also some very specific trainings that we will be employing when we are doing that big step of going out there and being seen and being witnessed and allow ourselves to be judged if we need to. There are so many things that you can do to make that effective and make it work for you and make it work quickly and with alignment where we're not being pitchy, we're not being desperate, we're not being like confusing, even like, what are they talking about? I'm confused. There are so many things that you can do. So I'm going to be doing more trainings in there with all of those little pieces for you. And of course, everybody's helping everybody in there. So if you have a need of any sort, just go in there, ask a question. If I'm not available, one of the other many brilliant entrepreneurs in the group will help you too. And that's just the Heartfelt Business Village.
That is so awesome. And I'm so excited that we did this and we actually could put it all together before 2023. And this will be going on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn.
You're gonna have
And
to I think it showed once.
say that again.
I think you're gonna have to blur out my nipple. I think it showed once.
Oh, okay. We'll look at it later. No worries. Maybe that will be one of the reasons why people will want to watch it.
We'll go viral.
It's going to go viral. So before we leave, I want to ask, because you have like your favorite thingies that you like, for instance, you invested in getting a remarkable. Like, what are other hacks and tools that you use that help you stay in this zone of finding your new center?
Yeah, so hacks and tools. Number one, the remarkable. I do all 5 of those steps in there, and I have it, and I can just keep it, and it's right here. It's just the digital, can't see it, but digital notebook. And I love Otter. I use it for everything. I love Voxer because a lot of the times this is what I'm doing, just sitting here feeding my child, and it's much easier for me to Voxer with people because you've seen me trying to text you with one hand and you're like, what are you trying to say?
Exactly.
It's really hard. So I love Voxer, and I love just general accountability. The ability to say, you know what? I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm listening and asking. This was a big one. 2022 taught me this one, and I think it's the biggest hack that you gave me. Asking for help. That's the biggest one. I still struggle with it, but I do it. I do it.
Exactly. Because, the thing is you can do a lot of things. You have been an entrepreneur for many, many years, and you have been able to run your business, by yourself with your kids. And it's because you have the wisdom and the technical, knowledge and know-how to do all the things that is necessary to be online. But the thing is that can create that burnout, right? You can get to that place of like, oh my God, I don't even really want to do this anymore because I'm burnt out. So pulling back and asking for help is, I think, really the key in sustainability. And that's what I found. Like, I hired a virtual assistant and hired somebody to do some graphic designing when you can't do it because you're too busy. And now you are super busy because you got 3 kids and you're rebuilding yourself. So, you have to kind of really honor that there are people that can help you, and it's just finding the right support that, aligns with your message. So thank you so much for coming on this Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast. I'm so, so happy that you are going to be doing your rebuilding phase in 2023. And we're going to have fun with reels and lots of master classes. And it's just going to be lots of playing, lots of fun, and a lot of contemplating, which is my favorite thing to do.
It's perfect for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again. Is there one last thing you want to leave with, Jessa?
If you're here to help people, as long as you're doing that, it's going to be okay. Just keep the momentum going.
Beautiful. And remember,
success, and we start right here.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
Success is my success, and we all just start right here, right where we are.
Love it. Your success is my success, and your activation is my activation. Bye for now.